Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Good afternoon. It's good to see you all here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we actually got a lot to talk about because Sony dropped a new lens. Sony apparently is also going to drop a new drone, and yeah, it's very exciting. Plus, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've got to review, and I leave next week for a 10-day trip to go out of state to film and work for somebody, which, for that job, I'm taking almost every FPV drone I own. But the main star of the show will be this, flying a red Komodo on top with a wide-angle lens, which will be fun, also scary, because that's a lot of money to put on a drone. Anyway, but good to have you all here. Hope you're all doing well. I do have a teaser for you. The reason my normal Monday, Tuesday video release hasn't come yet is part of the teaser you'll see. But I'll show you a teaser, and the video will come. I promise. It's taking longer because of, well, you'll see why. You'll see why in the teaser. Anyway, so tonight, if this is your first time in the stream, this is all about questions and answers. So if you have questions about products I've reviewed or things that I've been working with or other, whatever, I mean, if it's camera, video, photo related, then ask away, drones, the whole bit, and I will do my best to answer them. Other people in the chat will probably try and answer too, which is fantastic because it's awesome. We help each other out. That's what this is about. So, but without further ado, for those of you that didn't notice, and if you follow any number of camera channels at all, you will know that there was like 50 Sony 35 1.4 GM lens review videos that got released today. I'm excited about the lens. The lens looks phenomenal. $1,400 is expensive to be expected with a GM lens, but it looks just absolutely phenomenal. Very similar to the 24 G Master, except for it looks like it has a bit more focus breathing. The 24 GM does have some focus breathing, but the 35 looks like it has a bit more. It does look like a great lens, though. I was kind of like, when I saw it, I knew they were coming out with a new lens, and I was like going back and forth on like, not would I get it, but like, would I get it to review or just try, see if I could do something like that. And I don't know. 35 millimeters, it's a great size, or a great length, a great focal length for a lot of different things. It's good for portrait work. It's good for street photography. It's kind of wide, so you can kind of do some stuff wide. Very little distortion. It's a nice lens. I never shoot at 35 millimeters. I don't have one single picture I've ever shot at 35 millimeters on a zoom lens or otherwise. And so, and maybe it's just the thing of like, I need to get one and try it, and then I'll figure out why everybody loves 35 millimeters so much. But I've just not ever, like, I don't know. But it looks like a fantastic lens. It really does. The 24 1.4 is beautiful. It is a great lens, and it's incredible at low light. So, yeah, I want to say hi to people in the chat, and then we'll move on into everything else we're gonna talk about and discuss. There's a whole lot of you, so I know I missed most of you. I saw Alaska Snow Days was in here. Hey, good to see another Alaskan around here. Matthew Henry, Nicholas Hopkins, Eddie Nunez, Brad Alston. We fix websites fast. Oh, do you fix websites fast? I like your YouTube name. Keith, T-Man, Mark H. Hey, how you doing? Ivan was here. Xfit and Fitness. I gotta say that right. Sunrise, good to see you. Night Train, I saw you were in here way earlier too. Brad Alston. Louis, Diana, good to see you, Diana. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, I kind of caught up. Richard, good to see you. If I missed you, say, good to see you. Hey, say, look what, so we'll jump right into this. Look what came for me, buddy. It arrived today. So we'll just jump right into talking about this, I guess, because this will be a video that'll be coming soon. This is the Sirui 24mm anamorphic lens. I've reviewed the 50mm anamorphic lens. I've reviewed the 35mm, that's video. I haven't shot any photos with that. So I have worked with 35mm. I lied earlier when I said that. But this is the 24mm anamorphic lens. What's incredible is this thing is, I mean, you think 24 millimeters, and it's an APS-C lens on a full frame body, which means you're cropping in 1.5 times ish to get the proper coverage of your sensor. This at 24 millimeters APS-C lens, because of the anamorphic stretch, because of the 33% more on the width, is as wide as my Tamron is. My Tamron 17 and 28 is at 22-ish millimeters. 21, 22 millimeters, somewhere in there. So really, really impressive. It's also very heavy. Like, it's a really front-heavy lens, because the weird thing with anamorphic, the way anamorphic lenses work and are designed, the wider you get, the longer they have to be, which is weird. And then, of course, the front element has to get a little bit larger, but anamorphics are not the same as normal lenses, where you would think, to get a really wide lens, you have to get a really large front element or something like that. They get longer, which is odd, but it all has to do with the piece of glass in the front, because you've got this flat front here, and then behind that is a big convex piece of glass, and yeah, that's what does all the stretching and stuff. But very cool, I have to say. I'm very excited about this lens. Review forthcoming, and I am working up the nerve to do this with it. I really want to put this on my drone, and I really want to fly at FPV, and I'm just like, oh. But then again, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be going to the place out of state, and I'm going to be flying a red Komodo on this with a, so that's a $6,000 camera with a $1,000 lens. So that's $7,000 I'm putting on this. This right here is like $2,500. Because it's A7 III and the 24 millimeter anamorphic. But so you'll probably see some actual anamorphic FPV shots when I do my review of the 24 millimeter anamorphic lens. Pray for me that nothing goes wrong, because I'm probably doing that tomorrow and or Friday. Yeah, so hopefully everything goes well. Let's see. I saw Tommy. How's it going, Tommy? I almost texted you to see if you wanted to jump in tonight. And you're getting a red Komodo too? Dude, I'm jealous, man. The more I'm looking at the reds, the more I'm like, that's why it's so bright. The more I'm just like, the more I really, really want one. They look like just phenomenal cameras, but I've got no reason to get one at all. No reason at all. So, let's see. T-Man, my review, not a question, my review of the Mini 2 made you want to purchase it. Thank you, I guess. I hope that was good. It's a great drone. It really is a great drone. It just, yeah, a lot of people, yeah. Paul 24 1.4 is the bomb. It is. Brad Alston, there we go. That's the thing. So the daylight you're getting any longer, we've gained about 30 minutes since the shortest day of the year. Yeah, we've gained, I think, so far we've gained 45 minutes, 45-ish minutes. It's not quite to the point where you go, oh, the days are longer. That happens in February. And then in February and March, all of a sudden it just flips. And because we're gaining like in late February and most of March and April, we gain 5 to 6 minutes a day. And so it's like all of a sudden the daylight just goes whoop, and you're like, oh, it's light again a lot most of the time. And yeah, so right now I noticed, like today I noticed a little bit. I was like, oh, it was 3:30, and I'm like, hey, the sun's still up. Like it's just starting to go down. That's nice, because a few weeks ago it was gone by 3:30. Anyway, yeah. Sony 35 1.4 lens. So yeah, okay. So let's jump back to the Sony 35 1.4. Phenomenal lens. I do really like what Sony is doing with it. On why is there, everything looks green? Does it look green to you? Do I look green to you? Anyway, their focusing system is gonna be, there we go. Oh, that's better. Oh. The focus motors in the 35 are fantastic, and that's what I really, that's a similar thing of what Tamron's been doing in their lenses, is that linear focus motor, which is the magnets kind of moving the lenses back and forth. Super fast, super accurate, but also extremely quiet. I mean, almost just nothing at all. So yeah, really great. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, man? I hope you're healing up well. I really want to go out and do something with you, but I'm leaving right when the next Aurora stuff is supposed to be starting. So it might have to be after I get back in the February sometime. But I hope you're doing well. All right, Tommy, it's a deal. I'll do it next time. It's not green. Color looks good. Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe it's just my screen. Less green. Thank you, Brad. That's what I kind of was like. I mean, not green, but like just leaning toward the green side. So, yeah, I do have a chance to get a loaner copy of the 35 millimeter 1.4. So I think I'm probably going to say yes and review it, just because why not? I would really like to try it out. It looks like such a phenomenal lens. And, I have just had so much fun. The few times that I've gone out at night to do stuff, and I've filmed myself with the A7S III and the 24 millimeter 1.4 at 1.4 in the middle of the night with like a quarter moon, and the light off the screen is enough to illuminate you for the camera to grab focus, is just mind-blowing still. Yeah. So anyway. Let's see. Alaska snow days. You go cross-country skiing at the same time every day. 2 days in a row. It was dark when you went yesterday, and it's actually light. Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's like, woohoo. Yeah. Especially toward the end of like middle of February, I start getting really excited for spring. And the spring, like the spring snow days, when it's still cold at night and we still have lots of snow, but the days are warmer. Those are exciting. Yes, very, very exciting. Awesome, Jeremy. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Body is plastic for a GM. Is it plastic? I thought it was the same as the 24. And, you know, I just always thought they were metal. Sony usually does metal. I thought the 20 millimeter had plastic, but it's a G lens. But I thought this was, yeah, 20. So I guess I'd have to check now that you mention it. But they're great lenses. So, hey, Cardoso, how long is spring, Mark H? It depends on what you consider spring. Oh, okay, Eddie. Yeah, I hadn't watched his review. That was one of the few that I didn't watch yet. So, yeah. Mark H, the spring is generally like, I mean, most of us here in Alaska basically consider like middle of March to sometime in April is our spring, which means we can still get 2 feet of really heavy wet snow, and then the next day it could be, 60 something degrees and melt everything off. But it's yeah, interesting like that. So Liam says March to May. Yeah, it's true, man. I mean, sometimes there's one year we got a big dump of snow. I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago. We got a big dump of snow like May 12th or 13th. We had like 18 inches of snow on May 12th or 13th. And then 2 days later, it was 73 degrees. And yeah, so. Exactly. Brian's right. If you blink, spring passes in 2 weeks. And that's why most of us basically consider from the time you can start going out during the day without having to bundle up like you're going to the Arctic North Pole in the middle of winter, but you can actually step outside and enjoy snow and sunshine and feel the heat of the sun on your skin again, to the time that the snow melts and then the leaves start greening up, which is like May sometime. Yeah. So, okay. Before we jump into talking about the Sony drone, which is, I mean, I'm basically a nobody in their eyes, but I really would love to be on the group of people that gets to like test that out and give them feedback. And so I did sign up for it, and I sent them a message. Who knows? It would be amazing if I happen to get into that, because Oh, might as well talk about it now. The coolest thing about that is it is not a like consumer drone. It's meant for professional work and professional drone pilots who like, and it's probably, from what I've seen, it's meant for dual operators. So one person controlling camera, one person controlling drone. So very much like an Inspire 2. And it's aimed at that kind of work level, like professional, bigger budget stuff. The thing that excites me the most about it is the fact that I could take my A7S III and put it on the gimbal and plug it into the drone and then go. And I mean, that is just, oh, that would be so cool. And when I sent them a message, when I signed up for the like beta test program, whatever they called it, I was just basically like, look, I will carry this thing on my back to the middle of nowhere to film stuff that you can't film any other way. I was like, I will, you know, I got friends, Brian. You told me you would carry some stuff one time, right? I'm going to call in that favor. Cardoso, have I ever had issues uploading a 2-to-1 ratio video on YouTube? 4 hours still processing the 4K? No, but YouTube has been weird lately as far as processing. Like there was one day I uploaded something and it took hours to process 4K. It processed SD instantly. And then there's a bunch of times where I'll upload videos and it will process the 4K file before the SD file is done processing. And so I don't know what their deal is lately. I think they've just been hammered with traffic because of all of the stuff going on in our world. So midway there, Diana. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Somebody else asked me a question. I saw that way up there somewhere. I might have missed it. So if I missed your question, please ask again in the chat. It's just stuff is moving fast and I start talking and forget about it. So I'm sorry, but please ask me again. Eddie asks, he wants to pick up a prime for his Sony A7R IV. Of the 35 is indeed plastic. You'll pass and go for the 24 GM. Yeah, if it's plastic, that's a little bit of a bummer. I mean, I'm sure it's still built well. These Tamron lenses are plastic, and whatever plastic composite stuff they're using has been really durable. I won't say that I've dropped my camera with my 17-28 on it or fallen down with it in my hands multiple times, but I might have, and everything is good to go still and fine, thank God. Let's see. Avi asks, is mirrorless or full frame worth transitioning from APS-C DSLR? You have $2,000 worth of DSLR stuff you could get rid of if you want to transition everything. Avi, so depending on what you're shooting on DSLR-wise, it could be. Like, for a while I shot on a Canon, 7D Mark II, and it was a good camera. It was APS-C. Shot, I mean, like Canon, it shoots great photos, great colors, good autofocus. I mean, pretty good autofocus. It was a little outdated, but it was good. And but then when I started doing more dark stuff, more nighttime stuff, I had to get into full frame because the low light performance of full frame is just a lot better. And the low light performance of Sony in general in low light is much better anyway. So yeah, if you're wanting to do low light stuff, astrophotography, low light photography, stuff like that, then yeah. Or if you find yourself needing to go wider, because a lot of times going wide, getting a wider field of view on APS-C is a little bit harder because it's a cropped in sensor, if that makes sense. So let's see, seen snow in May. Yeah, T-Man. I know Scotland actually is pretty close to the same latitude or longitude as Alaska is. It's just you guys have so much more water, the ocean around you, you don't get affected as hard. But always there's caveats to that. Wow, Eddie, 15 hours? Jeez, that's a long time. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't think it's the 2-to-1 thing, Cardoso. I think it's just YouTube. Diana, of all A7S, which one does best in cold temps overall? Not talking about batteries. Oh, I mean, they both do, I think they both do equally well. I think the A7S III maybe does a tiny bit better just because it has more processing power and heats up a little bit more, so it handles the colder weather better, but it also doesn't get as good a battery life, period, regardless of temperature. It just doesn't. So, but the A7 III, I've shot with the A7 III out in 22 to 25 below zero and just had it out in like that, and it worked fine. Battery life was a little shorter, to be expected. The A7S III, I've been out in 12, 14 below zero so far this winter, and it's performed just as well. Hopefully that makes sense. DLX, what drone do I recommend for about 500 to 600 pounds? Oh, sorry. The Mini 2. That's a really killer drone for that in that price range. Honestly, that's what I would go for. And two, you get to avoid a lot of the regulations with the Mini 2, and that's why I recommend it so much. So, especially if you're operating Great Britain, which I assume you are because you're asking me about a price in pounds, that would be better because you can do a lot more with it without having to get into a lot of the more restrictive regulatory requirements. So, Eli, all the GM lenses plastic composite material. It's more durable than metal doesn't scratch or dent. Okay, Eli, that's what I was wondering. So, like, yeah, because I've used the 70-200 and some of those other large GM lenses, and they were metal, but they're huge too. So I can understand them needing to, like, and they might have been the oldest ones anyway. But yeah, and they get heavy too, man. You do metal, it gets super heavy. But the plastic composites they're using now are so solid. It's really, really good. NAS Worldwide, what kind of camera am I using for this video? I'm using a Sony A7S III and a 24 1.4 G Master lens on it. So, Liam, turning in passes always reminded you of the Highlands. That's true. I never thought about it that way, but that's pretty true. I was up there the other day. In fact, yeah, you'll see here in a second. I'm going to play the behind-the-scenes teaser for the video that I've been trying to finish up. Good Lord. Mini 2, 549 pounds for the combo pack. Yeah, and that's what I do. I get the combo pack. It's really, really good. Where did my slide go? You mean slider? Like this? I just didn't set it up tonight. But I've got the slider. Man, it's heavy. Right here. It's really cute. Oh, did I leave it on? I might have left it on and let the battery die all the way down. Nope, there we go. Yeah, so I'll be working on a review of this. I've already started working on a review of it. It's just that the weather has been not the greatest in most of the places that I've wanted to go and film stuff. I think I did let the battery die on this. Fortunately, I have another battery right here. So, Mark H, what kind of camera is camera 2? I don't have a camera 2 today, but normally it's my A7 III with one of my spare other Tamron lenses on it. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna play you guys the behind the scenes for the upcoming video that is gonna be released here in the next couple days, because if I can't get the weather to change and go out and finish filming it outside, I'll just finish it up inside. I think I got enough to finish outside anyway. Let's see, if we do this. That. Isn't that cool? I really, really am excited about this thing. Just, yeah. What an incredible little slider. Hey, Lon. So, hey, Rick Halper. All right, so here's a behind the scenes. The whole behind the scenes video will be on my Patreon for Patreons, or patrons. Oh my gosh. Anyway, But another question, I posted a poll in the community tab of the channel asking you about memberships. So if you can go there and vote for me, that would be tremendously helpful after the stream is over, just because I'm trying to get feedback. I've been trying to debate on like doing Patreon or just doing memberships or doing both. And yeah, so anyway, but this is behind the scenes for the video that I've been working on now for a long time and why it's also not been released just yet. We made it. Took us a little while longer because the roads were terrible, but we're here, it's raining, and we're gonna go because why not? This is why, if you ever come hiking with me, you want waterproof boots. Dude, we're walking on 2 feet of snow. Yeah, it seems fairly... It feels very snowy. Feels like... It's weird, it feels like it's winter in Alaska with snow.
Seems quite snowy, rainy.
Quite snowy and rainy out here. Hey look, you can't see where the water stops and where the sky starts. This is part of doing these trips here in the winter. Now raining and snowing, which means I can't really use the Pocket 2 out here because it's not waterproof, not water sealed. I could use the GoPro 9 because obviously it's waterproof. So that is a case of where you would want a GoPro over the Pocket 2, is if you're doing stuff like this, you want something that's going to be able to handle inclement weather. The Hero 9 is going to be better for that. Everything I'm filming this on right now has been the GoPro Hero 8. But yeah, this is a lot more wet and a lot more nasty than I was hoping for when we came to do this. All right, so there you go. Yeah, that's why it's taking me so long to get the Pocket 2. And I was like, well, I could do like just the regular review of the Pocket 2, which I have right here. Or I could just, you know, do the whole comparison thing, because that's, I don't know, that seems more useful to me. So I've been working on comparing the Hero 9 with the Pocket 2. They're very different, and I don't know why lots of people want to know which one, like, but that it's a lot of people are looking for which one of those to buy. And so yeah, Law and I do have an extension rod. It's not the Pocket 2 extension rod, but I have one, so I should just leave that going. Let's see. I know I missed some stuff, so if I missed a question from you, please ask again in the chat. Eddie Nunez, you're surprised I'm not walking in a t-shirt in that video. I'm not that crazy, man. Yeah, not that crazy. Oh my gosh. Say, it looks epic. It was epic, and that was the thing. It's like, it was such a perfect day. It was just fantastic out there. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, except for that it was raining and snowing, which is a little bit of a bummer because you can only do so much in the rain and the snow. So, yeah. Let's see. Tommy, you're super backlogged on reviews. I am now, too, apparently, because I also was sent, and I'm working on it. Let's see. That's this one. We'll do this one. These are the Freewell. This is the 2 to 5 stop variable ND mist thing that they put together, which just in my little bit of playing with it, they're awesome. They're fantastic. But I haven't really been able to do enough yet to really formulate a really solid opinion, but that'll be coming too. The challenge is I'm trying to get a certain amount of work done before I leave to go work out of state for 10 days. And I am like, so yeah, basically, I don't know what I'll be able to do. I'm assuming I won't be able to do much when I leave. So I'm trying to get stuff done, all the work that I need to get done for clients here, and then jumping in to make sure I get stuff for this. So there may not be live streams for the next 2 weeks. I just don't know what I'm going to have access to and what time I'm going to be doing stuff or not doing stuff. So if there is a live stream, it'll be impromptu. It'll probably be off my phone. Not impromptu, but it'll be like this same time, same place, but it'll be like off my phone in a hotel room or something like that. So if I can. Eddie, do I have the Polar Pro versions? No, I have the Polar Pro version of, I don't have it in here, the Polar Pro Variable ND, the original one. And I like it. It's good. I like the lens cap a lot. My problem is it's just expensive. And the Polar Pro one has scratched. It scratched really pretty quickly, in my opinion, whereas my Freewell one, this one here, I've had the same amount of time as the Polar Pro. There are no scratches on it at all. The glass is still like it's brand new. It's really saying something. So I'm not saying you couldn't scratch it. If you tried, you probably could. But they're really good. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the mist thing. I've been wanting to try that out more, and so it won't be for everything, but I think it'll be fun for some things. Rain and snow, terrible mix, Bob Casey. Boy, that's for sure. Okay, so Bob, the thank you, appreciate that, sir. The voting is for, and you can vote here. The voting is for like that video I showed. I showed a little short clip a few minutes ago, and I might play it again toward the end of the stream. That I've been posting, or I'm starting to post. I have posted some like other stuff for patrons, but I'm also considering doing memberships here on YouTube. And so if I do memberships, I'm probably only going to do one or the other. I'd either do memberships or patrons. But I do have a Patreon stuff set up and going now. But and it's just like it's the kind of the everything else. Like every time I go to film a review, there's tons of behind the scenes stuff that gets filmed. There's tons of other stuff that gets filmed that you don't see because I end up with, an hour and a half, 2 hours of footage that I condense down into 10 minutes. There's a lot. And I'm not saying all that will go into these, but a lot of it would. And it's a rough, there's no editing. I mean, very little editing. It's just a really rough, like, this was the trip. So what I played a few minutes ago was that kind of showing you a little bit of behind the scenes and showing you why my normal Monday, Tuesday video hasn't made it yet. Because I've been trying to film it and anyway. Chris Walker, welcome. G'day from Sydney. Just discovered my channel recently. Lucky place. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Sydney. I have friends that live in Sydney. I really want to come down and visit them sometime. Mark H., you like the behind the scenes footage? Interesting. I think it is. I think it's really interesting. I think it's fun. And let's see, did I miss any other? I think I missed any. I think I'm caught up now. I don't know. Diana Pierce, so the Pocket 2 might not be waterproof, but why not put a plastic bag over it and tape it down on the equipment? Well, Diana, because the Pocket 2 has the gimbal, it needs a certain amount of free movement, and because the gimbal's on the top, you have to keep that free. Now, they do make a waterproof case for it, and I think if they made a waterproof case that allowed for this multi-use handle, which also includes the receiver for this little wireless mic, that'd be ideal. You could take it anywhere and still get good audio and run around with the Pocket 2 in all kinds of terrible weather, which is something apparently I'm doing a lot of lately. So, thank you. My real name is Made Up. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. Bye, Sunrise. Have a good night. Krishav, good to see you. Sean Oz, welcome, bud. Hope you're doing well, man. You got lots of snow down there, it looks like. Let's see. Tommy, you said something. Orion 300 shows up tomorrow. Red, green, blue, white. Holy crap. COB style light. 300X full color. Rotolights, Titan X. Oh my gosh. Dude, you've got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, you better get going. You better get better get filming. Like, I better get filming because I got a lot to film. Let's see. Michael S. just tuned in. Question: do I have to have the camera pointed down when you take off before you land the Mavic Air 2 so it can orient itself? Aloha from Hawaii. Hello from Alaska. No, you don't. The Mavic 2 has there's two bottom sensors there, and it uses the bottom sensors to orient itself. It doesn't use the actual camera that you film with. Same thing with the Mini 2. It doesn't use the camera you film with to orient itself. It has two little visual sensors down there that it uses. So, oh, you have grass showing? Oh, dang. I'm sorry to hear that. For us, it has been, so far, I think, kind of an average snow year, actually. Although we got a lot early on, and then now it seems like it's kind of tapered off and been back and forth. So, yeah. What else did I want to talk about? That. I talked about those things. Liam, my stuff reminds me there are a ton of places in Alaska that you've never been. Hopefully that'll motivate you. Yeah, man. And it's amazing. I barely have scratched the surface for stuff to go and see. And so I'm planning, I can't do tons of stuff. I mean, I can't, at least not yet. I can't go that far away. But I'm looking at the summer coming up and thinking about some of the places I want to go that I haven't been before. And then, of course, some of the places that I want to go back to and visit again and check out. So we'll see how that works out this summer, because weather is always a big factor, but we'll see. I'm glad it does. I hope you get out and enjoy it, man. Don't live up here and never enjoy the state, because you got to. Let's see, Diana, you're getting 6 to 9 inches of snow. Ooh, that's a lot. Good luck. Alaska snow days, lots of snow early on, and you were skiing by the start of October. I know, that's what, like, we got a lot of snow early on, and now it's just kind of like nothing for a while. I mean, not here anyway, where I am. I know I was like on my way down to Seward yesterday, Monday, whenever I went down there. There was a ton of snow up in Turning Pass, and all the way down, it was just tons and tons of snow. So, which is part of the reason I want to go down there and film. But then it was snow and rain at the same time. So, Diana, name of the slider again? This is the iFootage Shark Slider Nano, and I'm not sure when they're starting to ship everybody, but I mean, they might be shipping now. But it's awesome. Okay, you can see it's running here. Like it makes noise. I can hear it a little bit, but I don't think you can hear it at all on the stream. Sean Oz, one of the worst snow seasons here. Oh dang, sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully that changes. Sean Oz, what's your address? Yeah, right. Paul Feinberg, what about that A7IV release? It probably won't be till October. Paul, don't say things like that. The A7IV needs to come out in March or April. That's when it needs to. Alaska snow days. Have I ever been out to Gruick Lake? I have not. I really do. That's one of the places I would really like to go. I don't know if I'll make it out there this year or not, but it is one place I'd like to go. You can hear it, Paul. What can you hear? Actually, I got to turn my phone down because that was up a little bit. Let's see. You got a dump of snow. You can probably hear my furnace going, and you can probably hear the air filter back there going. And right now, my laptop fans are making more noise than the slider. Let's see. Jake Love tutorials and vids. Newbie drone here from Mavic Mini 2 in Plano, Texas. Oh, cool. Awesome, John. Congrats. I hope you enjoy it. I need to put together a settings and setup video for the Mini 2. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm trying. I promise. Okay, so this is a good question for you guys in the chat. It's probably another poll I should post on the channel. Like, my favorite thing to do, and the way I like to do things, is go out and do this stuff outside, in the wilderness, on location, so to speak, and test things in real life. But, like, For some videos, do you mind if I'm sitting in the studio? Have you, like, you know, if I did a settings video for the A7S III, settings and setup video, would you care if it's outside or would you care if it's here? Does it matter to you? I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. Sean Oz, let's see. Let's see. Went out there this year. Ice wasn't formed up. Really cool. That's cool. Yeah, there were some good lakes with ice on them this year. I missed them all. I didn't get to any of them before it snowed on the ice and ruined it, so I was really wishing. Sean Oz, you say sorry for not how most would say it's great, but you know on the inside how great the snow could be in the mountains. Yeah, that's true. Lon Dennard, who makes a good bacon cooker? I cook mine in the oven. Ally Merchant, good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, welcome. I have friends in Melbourne too. Oh man, let's see. For the benefit of locals, will you give me your more of my filming locations? Okay. Yeah. So I do a fair amount of filming down in the Portage and Whittier area, because it's close and convenient. And there's a lot of different places you can go down there. That is great. Independence Mine, Hatcher's Pass, Archangel Valley, Fern Valley, all those places are great. Good locations to go film. And Lion's Head Peak out by Matanuska Glacier. It overlooks Matanuska Glacier, is another great place to go and film. And all of those are relatively close by and fairly easy to access-ish. But yeah. Let's see. SB said it just settings doesn't mean film outside. Don't mind. Cool, thanks. All right, Paul. There you go. You must have really good ears, or you must be using headphones. Let's see. Nice outside, but whatever's easiest. Oh, thanks, Alaska Snow Days. Rwanda. Wow, hey. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Great. Better from home in the office. Yeah, I think so, Ala. I've been trying to think of like if I could even do that one outdoors, and I don't think I can. So I'll get on that one because I need to do it. And I do kind of have it set up now the way I've been using it and feel comfortable using it and recommending the way, like at least the way I set it up and the way it works for me and the way I work. So that sounded really weird, but whatever. Cardoso, you'd prefer it was on a beach with a cold beer. Can we might make that happen? It'll be a few months before I have access to any beaches, man. It'll be a little while, but I might try it. So in a few months, not now. Say you like settings video on top of an iceberg. I think the drone settings video might have to be on top of some snow and ice because yeah. Anyway, workflow video would be A7S III would be interesting as well. Cool. Real world use, inside or outside. All right. Thanks. My name is Made Up. Outside, snow-covered mountains, suburban Philly, all the same. Not. Thanks, Richard. Hey, Roy from California. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Settings video should be inside, but you're not getting one yet, so you won't be watching any, but it would be nice to know you will have one. Okay. Thanks, Louie. I appreciate that. Thoughts on the new Aperture 100D and 200D? Well, so if Tommy's in the chat, he released a review of those, Tommy Calloway, and he did a really good job. I think they're great, more budget-focused lights from what I've seen. I haven't had the chance to use them and stuff. It does sound like if you are in a small enclosed space, the 100D is the way to go because it's the quieter of the two. If you need lots of output power, the 200D is definitely the way to go, but it is louder and noisier, and if you work in a small space, it's a problem. So I don't know if it'd be a problem for me here because I've got a fair amount of space, but it'd probably be more something I would just take out to location shoots where I'm not so worried about stuff. But it sounds like the 100D is a pretty good light. Yeah. So, let's see. Paul Feinberg, no, slider was not it. Must be my laptop fan. That's what you're curious about. Keep going. It's quiet. See, I told you. I mean, it's my laptop fan's here. You're probably hearing that, but I've got an air filter system over there that is also going, a HEPA filter thing. It's hard to say which is louder. They're sitting here. They're about equally the same. So, Ally Merchant, any chance I can do a comparison between the Weeble S and the Ronin RS2? You know they're in different categories. So I don't have at least right now, I don't have the ability to get my hands on an RS2. I would like to. I would like to get my hands on RS2 and the focus system to try it out with this anamorphic lens. I don't know if I'll be able to get my hands on one or not. If I can, I would love to, because that actually, and comparing that to the Crane S2S, Crane 2S, would be valuable too. I really love doing comparison videos. Those I think are some of my favorites to do. It's fun. But yeah, summertime would be nice. All right, SBS. If I know there will be a Mavic Pro 3, all the rumors, SB, are that they're going to release it sometime early this year. That's the rumor. Whether that comes to fruition or not, who knows? I think the next thing they're going to release is the FPV drone that everybody's been rumoring about. They just released the version 2 of the DJI goggles, which really is very minimal upgrades or changes. And it sounds like they're pretty interchangeable, but the FPV drone might be only compatible with the version 2. I don't know. We'll have to see. So that's probably next. And I think the Mavic Pro 3 will be after that sometime in the spring. Like March, April, maybe May, but I'm thinking March or April. Let's see. Yeah, Eddie, if you need a good indoor light for indoor shooting, the 100 would be better. It's much quieter. Yeah. However, it's supposed to be 80 here on the coast on Friday. Steve Carpenter, you and I live in very different worlds. Mark H., you ordered the Canon R5. Really looking forward to the IBIS. And the 4K 120, and of course 8K, if you get a enough horsepower system built. Dude, you had better get a really high horsepower system built and a lot of memory, hard drive space, because you're going to need it. But it is a phenomenal camera. I got the chance to play with one just for a little bit, and the IBIS is incredible. The photos are amazing. And honestly, like all the overheating issues that everybody screamed about with the R5, unless you're filming long-form content, it's not a big deal. And by long-form content, I mean like 20, 30, 40 minutes of solid, uninterrupted filming time at a time. You don't really do that often unless you do a lot of interview stuff. So, yeah. But awesome. Congrats, man. Did you get any of the RF glass? Because the RF glass is phenomenal. You already work with 36 terabytes on your main system? Awesome. That is nice. Jeez. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Cardoso, you're curious if the Mavic 3 Pro would actually make it worth the upgrade. So I'm thinking that they're going to incorporate a lot more of the Phantom 4 Pro stuff into it. Like it might have a global shutter or mechanical shutter even, maybe. I think the image quality will be on par with or maybe even surpass the Phantom 4 a little bit. I think we might maybe get like 5.3K, which would be really sweet actually. Or maybe even 6K, which would be incredible because it'd be a 24 megapixel sensor. I think, we'll get longer flight time. 35, maybe 40 minutes is my guess, and probably much better obstacle avoidance. I don't think it'll be on the level of Skydio obstacle avoidance, but I think it'll be pretty good. So, BMeg Art, you thought we were going to get an A9 8K news from CES? Yeah, I kind of did too. I've been watching for it and nothing. So, but I think it's coming. It's coming soon. So. Ally Merchant, a nice slider. Any recommendations on getting one? I mean, this one, it's really good value for the money you spend. It's the iFootage Shark Slider Nano. It's very good. And then the cool thing is let me turn it off so it don't burn something out. This is the cool thing about this slider. It's tabletop, works on tabletop. Obviously, it's a shorter throw. But then, if you put it on a tripod, then you get the double throw. So you get the much longer slides. So I've used it. I've been using it a fair amount to really figure it out. And used it on an interview. It worked really great on an interview on a tripod. But it's a little harder to use tight lenses, like 70 millimeters. 50 millimeters might be kind of about the limit. Before you start to get a little bit of You could just see the wobble stuff a little bit, I guess. That's, yeah, so. Let's see. A lantern softbox, Eddie Nunez? Yeah. The lantern softboxes are money. Those things are great. Plus, if you have a lantern softbox and you're trying to light a interview with two people, like you're filming two people, both angles, and you can take a lantern softbox, put it right above them in the middle, and light them both with one light, which is awesome. So one of my goals was to do a how to do interview shoot video. I have parts of it filmed, and then I just haven't gone any further with it. So, Liam, you got to head out. Enjoy the daylight. Save the dark nights while they last. All right, Liam. We'll see you next time. Flight time and image. Yeah, that's kind of me, too. I want it to stay small. I don't want it to get bigger than it is now, but we'll see about that, I guess. What are my thoughts on the Autel announcing the RTK series? It's cool. I'm glad there's more competition. I'm glad there's more people jumping into that. I don't do any RTK stuff, so it's not really applicable to me, but it looks great, and I'm glad there are more people offering that as an option, more companies offering that as an option. ETXP, very tempted on getting a drone. Is the Mini 2 a good starting point? Mainly just post for Instagram? Absolutely. If that's what you're doing, the Mini 2 is the drone I would get. Fantastic image quality for Instagram. It's really great. I mean, it takes really good photos, too. It really does. So, T-Man, 2 a.m. in your part of the world. Have to get some sleep. Get some sleep. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I've only got about 5 minutes left on the stream anyway, so 5:26. What exciting new tech am I keeping my eyes out for, SBS? Well, the Sony drone, but that kind of dropped already, so people are like, hey, the Sony drone's here. I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to start working with this 24mm anamorphic lens here. Because I think, what did I do? Oh, I locked it. There we go. I'm a sucker for anamorphic. The thing with anamorphic is, it's a specialty thing. It should not be your first, it shouldn't be your first lens. Most likely, it shouldn't be your second lens, maybe not even your third lens. Only if your whole goal is to film like short films or indie films. That's when you would get these as your first and second. But yeah, I like anamorphic. I'm a sucker for it. It's cool, and it's fun to shoot with. But it's I already have all the other lenses I need covered, so it's kind of just for fun. I don't use them that often, but when I do, and they're awesome. That definitely the Mavic 3 Pro. I'm very excited for that, and the A7IV. I'm very excited for that as well. And maybe if Sony decides to grace us with a 16mm 1.4 GM lens, that I would be thrilled for the 16mm 1.4 GM lens. Would be great. Let's see. Windy here in Minnesota. Appreciate the Mavic 2 Pro being able to handle it. How's the Mini 2 do in wind? It does well. If you want to see a really high wind test, Sean Oz can show you. Hey, Sean, I'm going to make you a moderator so you can post a link to that. But Sean Oz has some really high wind test videos on his channel, so you definitely want to check them out. Really, really high wind tests, actually. Way higher than I think I would have flown in. Let's see. Ally Merchant asks, the one, I think you did the Mini 2, right? Do the Mini 2 one. I think it was the first one you released, if I remember right. It's the one you were standing by the pavilion in the beginning. Ally Merchant says, thoughts on using the 16 to 35 f4 versus the 16 to 35 2.8 with the A7S III? It's a little less important with the A7S III, but if you're filming in really low light stuff, the f2.8 is still better, low light wise. Image quality wise, it's a little better too, like sharpness and stuff like that. So yeah, if you need a little extra stabilization in the f4 maybe, but it's just, yeah, I tend to go for the f2.8 anytime I can because it just gives you a little better subject separation by blurring out the background more. And SB, oh, you love anamorphic stuff? I do too. It's, yeah. So this is the 24 millimeter anamorphic from Suray. It arrived today, and I'm going to be doing it. Potato Soup asks, best camera drones. Cheapest Mini is the DJI Mini 2. The smallest but a little more pro level would be the Air 2, I think. Best for like filming yourself doing stuff but not having to worry about flying it too much, the Skydio 2 for sure. Best like smaller pro level drone would be the DJI Mavic 2 Pro or the Autel Evo 2, but I haven't really worked with that one yet, so I can't say. Yeah, that's the one, Sean. Potato soup, potato jet. That's right, Eddie. Mark H, is Skydio going to come out with a Skydio 3? I don't think so, Mark. I think they're just going to do firmware updates on the Skydio 2 because now you have the Skydio 2 and the X2, which is like their more enterprise version, plus the enterprise stuff they just released for the Skydio 2. So I think it'll be another year or so before we even maybe start thinking about a Skydio 3 is my guess. Not that I know. I mean, I'm not on the in there or anything like that. I wish I was. That'd be cool. I wish if they do a 3, Skydio, please send me one to test. I'll send it back. But I'll send it back. But send it to me to test. Yeah. Okay. So 4 minutes left on the stream. I need your all's opinion. This is my 8-inch FPV drone. 8-inch, 8-motor FPV drone. How many of you want to see footage of this 24 millimeter anamorphic on my 8-inch FPV drone in the winter in Alaska, hopefully not crashing? I've flown this a lot, and it has never had an issue. But it's still scary. Oh, yeah, Sean. I flew... because I put this together, I've flown it around with like a GoPro on it and the Insta360 camera and stuff like that just for fun. But I was like, okay, I'm putting a red Komodo on it in a week. So I want to make sure I know how much weight this thing can handle. And I know in theory, everybody's like, yeah, it can handle like 5 to 7 pounds max, depending on the battery size. And you can put little bigger props on here and get a little more thrust. And, depending on what you're doing, you can't do like super acro stuff with that, but you can fly it. So I put a 5-pound dumbbell on here, and the biggest battery I have, which is like a 4,000 milliamp hour, it's like 900 grams, and used as the battery, and flew it for 5.5 minutes. And so it worked, and it flew really well with that much weight on there. So this, at like 2.5 pounds, is going to be easy compared to that. So it'll fly it for sure. Yeah, okay. With the B-roll, catch the... Brian. All right, I'll try it. Oh, I'm so scared to do it. Kevin the Basic Filmmaker, I hope you're enjoying your time, man. It is not 70 degrees here. You got to watch the behind-the-scenes video I posted earlier, which is why I haven't released a video yet this week, because it's just been hard weather-wise, but I'm working on it. Sean, Ed Ricker's coming out there in February. You're going to FPV and snowboard? Awesome. Do I snowboard? No, Sean. I'm sorry. I don't. I have tried. I cannot. I think it's because I started out skiing when I was really young, like downhill skiing and stuff. I just can't get I just can't get my brain to work with my feet in the same thing. Like, I just can't. And I think it's because I was downhill skiing from a pretty young age. But yeah, I do. And I haven't in a while, but I have in the past downhill skied. So time for you to come out there. Dude, I would love to. And I am looking at this year, the chance for me, the ability for me to be able to come and go places, do a little more, and occasionally travel out of state is more realistic. So I am kind of looking at if we have any events this year, like NAB or anything like that, I do want to try and go to some of those. So we'll see. Kevin. Word on the drone course. I have been working on it. I promise I have. And you will be the very first person I send a link to do a test run for me and give me feedback in exchange. But I have been working on it. I was like, I'm going to sit down and start filming this. And I was like, wait a minute. Once I figured out how I wanted to film it, I was like, crap, now I need to go through and like create all of the stuff that I need to film it with. Oh, I might have it on my phone still. You want a sneak peek? Let's see if I have it on here still. I don't know if I do. Probably don't. Not there. Oh, here it is. I'm not going to play it. You're only going to see a preview. But that's what I'm working toward for how I'm going to film the course. So that's all you get. That's the preview. You're welcome. Drone course right there. So I got to create all that stuff that goes on the screen, behind me or next to me, whatever. Yeah. So, let's see. Did I do any Brian Anderson? Do I think the smart controller will link to the Mavic 2? So Brian, that's an excellent question. And I found out just recently, Aldrin Estacio, Flight Path, he got a response from DJI on Twitter that they said, no, they are not, which is very disappointing. And I hope they change their minds. But so far, they said they have no plans to make the DJI Mini 2 compatible with the smart controller. And I'm really disappointed about that. Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, especially coming from you. I appreciate that a lot. Man-made coming down to help Kelly again. Wants to spin down separate from spin up. Awesome, Sean. That'd be great. Richard, how do I show my phone screen so fast? So I have a whole little like switcher board here, and then I've got a cable that goes from my phone to HDMI, and that's how I can just plug my phone in and show you things like that. And yeah, it works well. Oh, do I have that on here? What is that? What is this? I don't know what this video is. Oh, this. Yeah, I can show you guys this. So this is, maybe. Come on. Why aren't you picking up? Excuse me. Let me try this again. There we go. This is me using my little FPV drone to do a fly-through of somebody's house. Sorry, it's a little jerky. No, I did not, Paul. I didn't see that. Send me a message about it on Twitter. Anyway, that's all I'm going to show you. But, so I started doing those kind of fly-through things, and this is the little drone with a GoPro, naked GoPro I set on there. GoPro sits right here. Run through the house with this little guy. It's so much fun. Let's see. Cannot get audio to play as HDMI from your A7III Mini. We'll have to pick your brain. Yeah, do it, Sean. It took me a bit to figure out how to do that, but I did figure it out. At least it worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. Yeah. Potato soup. That is this little drone. This one right here. A little custom built 95 millimeter FPV drone that works really well. Hold it here where you can actually see it's in focus. Yeah, and then I put a little naked GoPro right here, where it's just the GoPro control board and the sensor goes in there, and then fly around, film stuff. Yeah, Sean, do it. Yeah, send me an email or something. Have we not traded phone numbers? I should just send you my phone number at this point, maybe. I'm pretty sure I know who you are. You're not some weirdo on the internet anymore. We talk often enough. Let's see. Mosquito searching for you at your house, Ivan. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so Ally, it's basically, let's see. I don't have one down here. But basically you take one of these and you rip off everything except for the sensor that's here and the control board that sits right here. There's no battery, no back screen, no front screen, no nothing. It's just the sensor and the control board. and then you power it off the drone using a little voltage regulator. And so it takes the drone down from whatever this, like 156 grams to about 24 grams. So it's really, really lightweight. That drone, this one needs to be a stripped down GoPro, a naked GoPro. It won't work with, it won't quite, I mean, maybe it could, but the battery life would just be abysmal. Whereas this, which is the Squirt V2, is my other kind of interior cine drone. It will take a regular GoPro, but you can also buy, which I also don't have with me, a cable that will go from a LiPo battery to the USB port of the GoPro, so you can leave the battery of the GoPro out. That way you can save like 20, 30 grams if you want to lose a little bit of weight there. So it works really well. How do I know what the right voltage off the drone is for your camera? So the control board, you have to get a separate little control board that plugs onto the back of the GoPro control board, and it has a voltage regulator built into it and some buttons so you can start and stop recording and stuff like that. But like for me, I just pair my phone to the GoPro before I tear it apart, and then I don't use the GoPro app anymore because they ruined it for all the people who do FPV. But I use an A app to control the GoPro from there. So, and then the same thing with the cable. It goes off the LiPo into the USB port. It has a little voltage regulator built onto it that keeps it there. Let's see. Need lighting around the Brian Anderson around the TV screen. I agree. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm gonna be working on. So, but yeah, the good news is once I get all this stuff built out that I need to build out, then everything will be. It'll just be ready to go, and it'll just be sitting down, me filming it, putting it where it needs to be, and then releasing it. So it should go pretty quick, hopefully. Let's see. Is the Sony camera on my desk? And yes, this is a A7III here. And then how often do I post? I try and post minimum once a week. I was posting twice a week for a bit. I've had to back off of twice a week for a bit while I do this course that I'm getting ready to release. And so I've been doing once a week. The reason this week is late is because of a video I played earlier in the stream. The weather's been terrible. It's been hard for me to get out and film the stuff I need to film for the video that I'm working on. So, but it's coming, and it will come soon. All right, folks. That's going to do it for the stream today. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this this community and this channel. I appreciate it. It's a blast. I cannot believe starting this year, like 1,000 or 10,000 times more subscribers than what I had when I started 2 years ago. It's really wild, but it's really cool too. So, and it's been fun getting to know you. Yeah. Brother Herb, I made a video about my whole streaming setup on my channel. So, and I do focus on quality over quantity. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I don't know if I'll be able to stream next week and the week after that or not, but we'll see. Hopefully I will. Thank you all. It's been great. As always, you keep asking me questions in the comments. I've been slacking on answering those comments, but I will try and get caught up and answer them for you. So, thanks all. Be safe and take care. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Cheers.